All right, back tonight here on In Focus. The previous City of Tshwane administration says it's made headway in its efforts to growing cash collection from 2.8 billion rand to 3.6 billion rand monthly. New Mayor Dr Nasiphi Moya has unveiled her new mayoral committee, naming ANC Councillor Eugene Modise as the new finance MMC in a metro battling service delivery issues. The MMC joins us now for more on that. MMC, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. After 8 years, I suppose, the ANC back in the government of Tshwane, yourself now at the helm as the MMC. Now, the municipality, at least for 3 years now, continues to be in doubt, according to the Auditor General, as far as the viability to continue. The finances are not looking great at this particular point. The municipality has had money in the bank, no overdraft, but you've been unable as a municipality to collect 78% of municipal debt that cannot be recovered. How do you plan to turn this situation around?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your viewers. There's a cocktail of action that we are going to take. The first one is what you have spoken about. Our objective is to have a clean audit. The first one is to revenue collection to be in excess of 4 billion rands. Improve the credit rating. We have partnered with Moody's now. Stabilize the institution by improving internal controls. The city to be independent and insulated from political shocks. What I'm meaning is that even if we are out, the city must be able to be functional. We need to build sufficient cash-backed reserves and not depend solely on conditional grants.
Yes.
We want to make the city attractive to foreign investors, prepare the city to participate on the JSE to attract more loans at market rates. What we are going to do, and is what we have agreed upon on the past mayoral committee, which was on Monday, we are going to convene imbizos in all locations of the city. Talk to our residents. There's an outcry. There's a informal settlement and RDP houses which are not electrified. And in the process, the residents are stealing electricity.
Yeah.
As we speak, our loss of electricity is 26%. Our loss of water is 82%. So what we are trying to do is we are going to electrify and install meters so that we are able to collect revenue. The residents are ready and prepared to make payments, but the city has been not making electricity accessible and available to them. We are going to scrap the prescribed debts or debts which are not recovered in commercial terms. And we are going to review our indigent policy so that we can be able to have a review database of those who cannot afford to pay. Those are the steps that we are going to do in the meantime.
Yeah.
We're going to re-engineer our supply chain management to reduce UIFW, unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure.
Yeah.
Yes.
The former mayor revealing that one of the biggest shocks that the municipality is dealing with is a more than 4 billion rand operating deficit that was left to the city by the Gauteng provincial government after the unlawful intervention in 2020. How far has the city gone in dealing with that deficit?
I think it's a fallacy because the books doesn't say that. And even the then administrator now have left a surplus. The DA-led coalition have failed to collect revenue and make the city attractive to the financial institutions. But however, having said that, our plan is to make sure that we stabilize the finances of the city. How do we do that? The first thing is to do things correctly. There's a fresh produce market which is underperforming as a result of not being serviced. It's not attractive anymore to the customers. We got a judgment which told us straight as a city that we need to fix abolition facilities. Can you imagine a market wherein you buy fresh produce and you get a judgment to fix it? So there's no willingness, there's no willingness to fix what is making income to come to the city. The second one is the vulnerable airport. There are people occupying hangars there and they are paying nothing. There's a restaurant which is having a green contract and is paying nothing or peanuts. The vulnerable airport was lucrative and it got a license to go to Cape Town. As we are preparing to get a license to go to Durban, the AXA told us what we must do. We must make sure that the runway is clean, there's no debris, and all the facilities are managed with electronics, like cameras and everything, which is a requirement by AXA. And it's an international requirement. We were going to get another route to Durban, and as we speak now, you can conduct your own assessment. The people who are leaving Tshwane daily to go to OR Tambo are a lot. And if we can manage to ensure that this airport can generate income, we'll be able to be sustainable. The third one is the power stations. We've got 2 licensed power stations. Actually, we were not supposed to be subjected to load shedding as the city, because we were supposed to fix this power station and they were going to generate revenue, and we were going to have surplus of energy, which we could sell to Eskom or any other big company. So those are the things that we are going to do to ensure that there's enough cash reserves and we're able to sustain the city.
The city tells us that there are some 425 million, if I'm correct, that would have been allocated to deal with the Hammanskraal water situation. Is that money available, and how differently are you going to be treating that question of that budget?
It's 450, but it's broken into chunks. It will be 150 per financial year, the second one 150, and the other one on the third year. But let me share with you what we did as the African National Congress occupying opposition benches. We went to the national government and spoke to them, and the caring African National Congress gave us 2 billion rands to service the people of Hammanskraal with clean running water. As we speak, by the end of this month, the people of Hammanskraal will be getting clean running water. And that is the first phase of that water treatment plant. As soon as the water is running, we move to the second phase. And the national government have promised us to give additional 2 billion rands. So the problem of water in Hammanskraal will be a thing of the past. But the arrogance of the DA have led to the death of people in Hammanskraal. Because we did, I think you know what we did. We took water samples from Hammanskraal, took them to public protector, took them to the scientists, and even took them to the mayor then. And the mayor refused to drink the water because that water was not good for consumption of human beings. So now we are exonerated, but we are not happy with the death of those people. We are making sure that for future, this thing must not happen anymore or in our lifetime.
So the Auditor General telling us that there are particular systems that are already in place in the city, at least in this financial year, which are assurance providers, things like the internal audit unit, the municipal audit committee, the municipal council, of course, the municipal public accounts committee. I'm interested particularly in these two, the internal audit committee and the internal audit unit. You are not going to be reversing those particular assurance providers, are you?
No, we're not. I've been serving in the finance committee. Those committees are reporting to us. We pushed the DA-led government to ensure that those vacancies of those critical skills are occupied. That's why we got the CFO today, and those committees are established. We are not going to take the good or those that is working. We are going to cherish them and enrich them. But the bad things or bad resolutions, we are going to be intolerant to them and get rid of them.
Currently, your total revenue in terms of all sources, own revenue as well as grant received, is sitting at what, 42.2 billion rands, according to the report. How high are you looking to take that, especially the own revenue part of it, which is currently 81%?
Our intention is to ensure that we've got 50 billion rands. And like I said earlier on, we want to collect above 4 billion rand, and that is feasible. We've got landfill sites wherein we are losing 150 million rand. And this is deliberately done. The DA-led coalition didn't fix the scales, and they've been lying there for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And they need to be maintained.
Yeah.
They have issued permits to private companies to collect refuse in gated communities, and which is unlawful, by the way, because their license must sit with the municipality for regulation. Those companies are making us to lose 40 to 50 million rands per month. So if we can revoke the license and collect refuse, we'll be able to collect 50 million rand instantly. And if we fix the scales in the landfill sites, we'll be able to collect 150 million rand to 250 million rand a month instantly.
Does that mean then you will be able to up your budget on repairs and maintenance? I mean, currently you are using an equivalent of 2.7% of the value of infrastructure assets when it's supposed to be sitting at 8% of the value of infrastructure assets, meaning a little bit more than the 1.1 billion rands that you have spent on repairing and maintenance of assets.
You are correct. In legal terms, it's called sparing the cost. When you don't maintain your assets or your infrastructure, this is what's going to happen. It doesn't need rocket science. So the infrastructure was not maintained. Like I was talking about the scale in the landfill site. That system is not broken easily, but it's costly if you don't maintain it. So that's what is happening now. We were supposed to maintain them at regular intervals as per the manufacturer, and they'll be able to sustain ourselves. So it's an indictment on the previous regime because they ignored maintaining the infrastructure. Like I'm going to tell you about the loss of water that we're incurring is 32% each and every month.
Right.
Our plan and our intention is to get a company with muzzle to fix the pipes, and we're doing this off balance sheet. We're not taking the money from the coffers of the city, and in the process, that company will have a contract with us to maintain those pipes, and we will be sharing revenue that we'll be collecting from that particular area. So in the process, over a passage of time, 5 to 10 years, the company would have recouped its money, will be having fixed and maintained pipes, and our leakages will be gone.
MMC, let's leave it there for tonight. Much appreciated, and thank you very much for coming on and setting out some of the priorities that the MMC will be tackling.